Hey guys, Sivel from Sivel Gaming here, and today on Grand Theft Auto, we're going to be looking at the brand new Lampadati Viseris. So we got a brand new car today in GTA called the Lampadati Viseris. It is a two-door rear-wheel drive classic sports car. It's another car that Rockstar's released as part of the Doomsday Heist update. It's currently available from Legendary Motorsport, so that's where you're going to want to go pick it up. And guys, if you're a fan of the classic sports cars, you are absolutely going to love this car. It's a great car. You're gonna love it. So let's just open up our phone here and go over to Legendary Motorsports. That's where you're gonna find it. And it's, as you can see, it's the first one on the list. Now, the price of the Viseris is $875,000, which is actually a really good price compared to some of the recent vehicles that Rockstar has released as part of the Doomsday Heist update. So I'm just going to read this out a little bit. I always love reading these descriptions, as you know. There were a lot of things to like about Lampadati's Viseris. The smooth handling, the chiseled good looks, the salt-of-the-earth engineering. More than anything else, you had to love the unmistakable roar of its barbaric V8. But if you thought that sweet song couldn't be improved, you were wrong. Offset by the rattle of twin forward-facing machine guns, it takes on a whole new depth of character. So there's our description, and as you can see below the description, it does say, please note weapon modifications can only be applied at vehicle workshop inside Avenger or mobile operations centers. So yeah, you can customize this completely, pretty much, in Los Santos Customs, but if you do want to add the forward-facing machine guns, you want to weaponize your Viseris, then you will have to do that in either your Avenger or your MOC. And guys, I think this is a really nice looking, you can see the pictures there, I think this is a really nice classic looking car. Like I said, if you're into that, you're really going to love this car. It's a really nice car. So let's go ahead and order it up. Let's select our color here. I always like selecting black. It's kind of a good shade when you're starting out. I'm going to paint it up anyway, but let's buy that up and stick it in our garage. So we're going to head over to the garage here, and I'm going to just head up to the second floor here. My lower level was a little full of cars, but I got tons of room upstairs. So we're just going to head on up there to level B, and just my luck, it is at the very back of the garage, but that's okay. So here it is, our brand new Viseris, right off the showroom floor. This is how it looks completely stock. Even stock, it looks quite nice. It does look a little plain, as they usually do when they're brand new uncustomized, but stock, it does look quite nice as well. It's got a nice hood there. You can kind of see the engine there through the back a little bit. It is rear-wheel drive, so you're going to have your engine in the back, as you can see a little bit there. And there are customizations that will allow you to see the engine a little more, as you'll see in a few minutes. So let's just head on in here, get her fully upgraded and customized. Drive her onto the shop floor here, get our mechanic to take a look at her, upgrade it for us. So there are 20 different categories that you can upgrade it with. You've got your standard stuff like your armor, just like all the other vehicles. You've got your armor. You want 100%, just like all your other vehicles. Same with your brakes. Obviously, why would you not want race brakes? So yeah, you're going to want to upgrade those. Bumpers, so for front bumpers, we do have a few different options here. We've got blacked extension, primary extension, secondary extension, bolted extension, and race setup. I was kind of taking a look at these. I wasn't sure. I was kind of torn a little bit. I didn't really like that exposed front, but I kind of like the bumper there. So I actually decided to just go with the race setup. So that's the one I chose for mine. As far as rear bumpers, we have removed, so you can just remove the standard stock bumper, or you can have a chrome stock bumper. So you can remove it or have it in chrome. I like the chrome, so I picked that. And let's just move it along here. Let's see, what do we have? We have chassis. So we've got a few options here. You're going to want to, while we change this, you're going to want to watch that back window. You have parcel shelf as the first option, adds a little bit of a shelf there to the back window. And then you have interior window, and you have GT filters. So if you're watching that back window, you'll notice it actually changes the way the top of the engine there looks. Right. And if you look through the front windshield here and watch as I change these, you're going to notice you actually have the option of exposing the engine to the front driver's seat and passenger seat with the interior window and GT filters. So not only does it change the top look of your engine, also gives you a little bit of an interior look of the engine as well. So moving along, we're going to head over to engine. So you have engine tunes like the other vehicles. You have your level 1, 2, 3, and 4. I always like to upgrade it to level 4. You're probably going to want to do that as well, because I like to get the most acceleration as I can out of these vehicles. Then you have your engine covers, and remember I said there's an option to expose the engine if you like that look. So there's our stock engine cover. We have carbon detail. We have vented cover, carbon vented cover. We have blacked louvers. We have primary louvers. I actually kind of like the look of those too. They look really nice. You have the rear roof scoops, which gives you a little bit of a scoop on the top there. And then you have a vanity cover as well. That's the one that's going to expose the engine. I was kind of torn between, you know, the scoops and the vanity cover, but I ended up going with the scoops. So moving along here, we're going to go to exhaust. So you have a few options here. You have twin titanium tips. You have twin chrome. You have horizontal single. The horizontal single I thought was interesting. Just like horizontal, kind of shoots it off to the side, but in the middle you have carbon big bore. You have cannons, big huge exhaust cannons there, MK1 diffusers and MK2 diffusers. I decided to go with MK2 diffusers because I like that race car look. Next on the list we have fenders. So we have the stock left fender, we have panel splits, and we have wide body kit. And again, I was kind of torn here between the panel splits and the wood body kit. I had a little bit of trouble deciding because I like those little dots along there, but I ended up going with the wide body kit because I just thought it made the body look a little nicer, a little fuller, so I ended up going with that. Next on the list we have hoods. So there's our secondary detail, carbon detail, and single vent. That secondary detail, that's going to give you the secondary color as a hood color. But I kind of like the carbon detail, but I ended up going with the single vent, just like the rear scoops. I kind of like those vents on my vehicles, so I ended up going with that. Next on the list is horn. Your standard horns, just like every other vehicle. You have you know, your standard, your music, you've got all kinds of stuff. And for the loop, one thing I found funny was the Halloween loops were still in there, so if you're still in the Halloween mood, you can do that if you'd like. Moving along, we've got our lights, so we've got our standard stock lights and our xenon lights, and then we have our neon kits. So just take a look. I'm not going to add a neon kit to this car, but I just wanted to give you an idea what it sort of looks like with the neon kit. I'm not going to change the color or anything, but just to give you an idea what it might look. And then moving along, we're going to skip that. We're going to skip that for now. And we're going to go to skirts. So we have the stock skirts, black extensions. We have primary extensions, which will give you your primary color in the extensions, secondary extensions, secondary color, and bolted extensions. I really like that bolted extensions look because it just kind of matches all the other stuff that I've selected. And moving along to our spoilers, there's our hood lip spoiler first on the list. It's very slight change, as you can see. You have your slipstream spoiler, a little more pronounced. You have your tailgate spoiler, a lot more pronounced. You have your V-wing spoiler, it's got that V shape to it. Primary dovetail spoiler, which give you your primary color. Carbon dovetail spoiler, carbon race spoiler, carbon aerodyne spoiler, carbon drag spoiler. And last on the list, if we move down, we have our competition spoiler. I personally like the competition spoiler better. I think it goes with that. Like I said, I like that race car look, so I went with that one. And so let's just select that real quick here. Moving along, we've got our suspension, lowered suspension, street suspension, and sports suspension. I always lower it down to sport. Some people don't like that low, but I do. So I picked that. And we got transmission, again, race transmission. Turbo, you do want the turbo for sure. Wheels, there's your standard selection of wheels. I ended up going with muscle. I wanted that muscle car kind of wheel look. Thought it would be interesting to see, kind of race car with muscle car wheels. And this was hard for me to decide. There's a lot of different wheels here.
Think long and hard.
Yeah, I thinking long and hard, mechanic lady. So yeah, but I was kind of taking a look. I really like the muscle freak kind of look. I was kind of torn which one I wanted. So yeah, just taking a look here at our different options. I always have trouble picking wheels because they all look so good. Some of them look not so good, but most of them look pretty sweet. So, but I think I'm gonna go with the muscle freak one. Yeah, I think I like the look of that. And then moving along, we have our tires. So our tire design. I like the custom tire design, and you want your bulletproof tires, obviously. Unless you're only going to use this for races, but if you're in free mode, you do want that. We have our smoke, and moving along, our windows. This one I actually thought the dark smoke would look the best instead of the limo. I usually like the limo, but I ended up going with dark smoke. I thought it looked nice. And moving along, we've got all our customizations done, so now we're going to respray it. So our primary color, and actually, you know what? Let's do our crew emblem first, so they know it is Sivel Gaming or Toronto Assassins. Go, yay! So our primary color, we're gonna go with our crew color. I always like going with my crew color. It's color coordinated. That's me. Secondary color. Now this is gonna change the front of the side mirrors. It's also going to change if you've changed, your hood or whatever, fenders or whatever, anything that has secondary in it. It's going to change that as well. So you can make that whatever you want. I decided to just go with. I wanted the side mirrors to be the same color as the rest of the car. I thought maybe I might want black, but I ended up going with my crew color. I wanted to kind of match, again, color coordinated, right? I think it looks nice.
How many cars you got in this garage?
So yeah, we're just gonna make that the crew color.
Girl is looking good.
Moving along, we have our trim color. So this is gonna change the color on the inside of the car. You can see the engine there, looks really nice. So we're just gonna go through the colors here, take a look, see what we think looks best. And let's take a look here. You got a few options here. I usually go with kind of a red for my cars for the interiors. Some of the times I like it a little brighter, but lately I've been going with more of a darker red. So you might want to kind of do the same thing. It's less in your face for the inside of the car. You don't want to take focus away from that beautiful paint job on the outside of the car. So I think I'll go with, let's see, sunset red.
Looks almost
yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, okay, there we go, sunset red. And there we go. So we've got her all painted up, and yeah, looks pretty good. And if you guys in the comments, if you want to post what you think of my beautiful paint job and my look that I chose, but there are a whole bunch of different options, as you can see, so you can make this vehicle look really nice. I really like those, I think they're called rivets, those little bolts or whatever that go down the side and down the fenders and all that. I really kind of think that looks really cool. So I'm not a big classic sports car guy. Generally, I'm not really big on them. I like the supercars a lot better. But yeah, this is actually one classic sports car I could actually see myself driving around in. So let's head on out to the street and take her for a test drive. So down here on street level, we're going to take off, spin our wheels, burn some rubber. This has some nice power. I've talked to a few people that have actually purchased this already today, and you know, one of them was saying when he was driving around stock, it wasn't too impressive, but once you get it upgraded, I find it's actually got some nice power, some nice handling, weaving in and out of cars, great acceleration. You're going to speed away there. But you know what, let's head over and get our weapons done up. So like I said, you do need to be in your Avenger or your MOC to be able to do this. You are able to do the standard upgrades like fenders and stuff like that, just like the Los Santos Customs, but what we're looking for here is a little bit of weapon power. So you're going to see weapons there. Head on in and you have your mounted machine guns for $95,000 extra. So I just wanted to try these out. So when I did test these machine guns out, you know, on the vehicles, they're okay. As you can see, you can blow up cars with these. It takes a few shots though. I noticed it, you know, works better when you shoot the front of the car instead of the back of the car. I shoot the engine block. When I headed out and tried it out with people, it actually worked a lot better. I thought I picked the beach area here because there's usually a lot of pedestrians here. And as you can see, they are similar to the Night Shark's bullets. So it's basically the same guns as the Night Shark. But the nice thing about these guns is they actually end at a point. You see that point, my target there? They actually end at a point there. So you can't go up and down, but you can kind of move the car back and forth slightly to sort of aim it. And off to the track here, we've tried out on the street, we've tried out our mounted machine guns. Let's take her to the track, boys. So, you know, again, it's got some really nice acceleration here on the go. But one thing I found really surprising, and actually other people that have contacted me today that purchased it when it came out told me they were also surprised about, is the speed. It's got some really nice speed on these straightaways. You wouldn't expect that from a Sport Classic, but for a Sport Classic, it's got some really nice speed. It's not as fast as the X80 or something like that, but it's got some nice speed. But one thing I did notice is turns. You notice I'm slipping out there a little bit. You really want to take it easy around those curves. The trick with this one, really take it easy around those curves or you will slip out and lose that race or whatever you're trying to do. So just really go easy on that toggle. We'll start to get close to that outer wall. Just make sure that you let off on the gas a little bit so you don't hit that or have to hit your toggle more and make yourself spin out. Unless you're doing a straight race and you want to, you know, drift around those corners, that's fine, but really take it easy on those curves, okay? And one last thing I wanted to mention, I always like mentioning this with the aircraft and the cars, what these were actually based on, so you can take a look. I always find it interesting. So this was actually inspired by the Tomaso Pantera GTS. I apologize if I mispronounced that, and the Maserati Merak. I'll actually put a link in the description if you'd like to check out those cars, if you find that interesting like I do. So yeah, so that's our brand new Lampadati Viseris. Let me know what you think. If you've bought in this car, you like it, leave a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. This is a newer channel, guys. I put a lot of hours into doing this, and it just really helps me out grow the channel. So just like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. And until next time, this is Sivel from Sivel Gaming.